students, and welcome to the English class of Standard 10. Today we're going to start a new lesson named The Concert, Module 1, written by Shanta Rao and presented by Sara Pereira. Shanta Rao. Shanta Rao was born in 1930 and she died in 2007. She was a notable dancer from India. She was exponent of Bharatnatyam and also studied Kathakali and Kuchipudi. I'm sure you're all aware of this classical Indian dance forms. She was exponent of these. She was recipient of Padma Shri and Sangeet Natak Academy Award and Kalidas Sanman for music, dance and drama. So she was basically an all-rounder, and this is a true story written by her, but all the names except Pandit Ravi Shankar's and Ustad Allah Rakha's have been changed to hide the identity. First passage, page number 138. From one morning in a small apartment in Bombay till eyes were fixed on her sister. Let us read. One morning in a small apartment in Bombay, a girl of about 16 looked up from the newspaper and said excitedly, Pandit Ravi Shankar's playing tomorrow at the Shanmukhanand Auditorium. Shh, said her mother, pointing to the figure sleeping on the bed. You'll wake him up. You know he needs all the sleep and rest he can get. But the boy on the bed was not asleep. Pandit Ravi Shankar, he said. Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro. He raised himself up on his elbows for 1 second, then fell back. But his eyes were shining. We mustn't miss the chance, he said. I've always wanted to hear him and see him. Lie down, son, lie down. His mother sprang to his side. He actually raised himself up without help. She murmured with a catch in her throat, and her eyes turned to the idols on corner shelf. The prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden to her lips. I must hear him and see him, the boy repeated. It's the chance of a lifetime. Then he began to cough and gasp for breath, and had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. But his large eyes were fixed on his sister. Let us first of all try to understand the setting of the story. The story is taking place in a small apartment of a middle class family in Bombay. It's written Bombay because this lesson is written in the 90s, and that time it was Bombay, now we call it Mumbai. And the boy is sleeping on the bed, probably he is sick, and we will get to know what sickness he is going through. And there is this girl, okay, elder to him. She's reading a newspaper and she read a news that Pandit Ravi Shankar, who is a sitarist, was going to play in a auditorium, Shanmukhanand Auditorium, the next day. Okay, you can see the picture of Pandit Ravi Shankar on the slide. But listening to this news, the boy was very happy. He was very excited, and so without any help, probably he needed help for the other chores, but here, because of excitement, he did not think for a second and he tried to get up from his bed, and he did not want to miss this chance, and he wanted to go for this concert that was going to happen. But the mother, she was very concerned about the boy who was sick, and so she tries to calm him down and tries to tell him that you relax, you don't think about those things. And she's murmuring a prayer, and probably this prayer is something that she's always going on repeating, and that's why the line says that this the prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden to her lips. Okay, somehow Now even if she's conscious or she's unconscious, she goes on praying to the idols which are in corner. If you know that in Indian houses we usually have one corner or one shelf where we have the photos or idols of gods placed, okay, with candles and with all the um, garlands that we put. And every morning usually people start their day by worshipping these idols, and there is this place, this sacred place in every Indian household where people pray. So this mother also, she was praying for this young boy who was sick, who was lying there. But this young boy today was very excited because of the news that he got to hear, and so he is not listening to his mother, he's not even thinking about his sickness, and he's only looking at his sister. His eyes were fixed on his sister, and he wanted to know more about the concert that was going to happen and more about the news that he got to hear just now. Second passage, page number 138, from Smita bit her lips till page number 139, great sitarist one day. Let's read. Smita bit her lip in self-reproach. She had been so excited at seeing the announcement that she had not remembered that her brother was very ill. She had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads gravely and spoken words that neither she nor even her parents could understand. But somewhere deep inside, Smita had known the frightening truth that Anand was going to die. The word cancer had hung in the air. Her brother was dying of cancer, even though she pretended that all would be well and they would return together, a small family of four, to their home in Gaganpur. And he was only 15 and the best table tennis player in the school and the fastest runner. He was learning to play the sitar. They were both taking sitar lessons. But Anand was better than her, as in many other things. He was already able to compose his own tunes to the astonishment of their guru. Then cancer had struck and they had come to Bombay so that they could be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. Whenever they came to Bombay, they stayed with Aunt Sushila. Her apartment was not big, but there was always room for them. They had come with high hopes in the miracles of modern science. They told themselves that Anand would be cured at the hospital and he would again walk and run and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournament. And he would play the sitar, perhaps be a great sitarist one day. Now we know that the boy was sick with cancer and he was about going to die. There was very little hope. But he was just 15 years of age, and so the family, uh, whose native place was Gaganpur, they would bring him to Mumbai or Bombay at Aunt Sushila's place. Okay, and they stayed in her small apartment, but they had hopes that if he would go to better doctors, if they would have better treatment in the hospitals in Mumbai, then maybe there will be chances for him to live for few more years. Now, for your information, cancer treatment has become quite easier now, but earlier it was not, and there were very few chances for the people to get completely cured out of cancer. So even this family, somewhere they knew the truth, the fact that he would not live, but still they did not want to give up hope, and they tried their level best because this boy was a very talented boy. He was a table tennis player, the best table tennis player of his school, and he was fastest runner also. And also he and his sister, they were both taking sitar classes. But this boy, who was younger to her, was more sharper. He was brilliant in the way he was composing tunes of his own, and that would amaze his guru as well, or guru or the master, the teacher who was training them. It would amaze him as well, because in a very young age this boy had already started composing tunes of his own. So much was he interested in playing sitar, and that's why probably this news of attaining the concert of Pandit Ravi Shankar excited him so much. And also, this girl was interested. And so, when she realized that maybe by bringing this topic up, she has somewhere created hopes into him, and then he will now force them to take him to the concert, and he's not in that condition to be taken. So for that purpose she bit her lip in a self reproach, where she's trying to bring her excitement to control, and trying to understand that maybe this is not the situation, or that was not the proper time when she would read the news aloud. Third passage, page number 139, from But his condition grew worse, till page 140, she was lost in her thoughts. Let us read. But his condition grew worse with each passing day, and the doctors at the cancer hospital said, "Take him home, give him the thing he likes, indulge him." And they knew then that the boy had not many days to live. But they did not voice their fears. They laughed and smiled, and talked and surrounded Anand with whatever made him happy. They fulfilled his every need, and gave him whatever he asked for. And now he was asking to go to the concert. The chance of a lifetime, he was saying. When you are better, his mother said, this is not the last time they are going to play. Smita stood at the window, looking at the traffic, her eyes wet with tears. Her mother whispered, but you, Smita, you must go. Your father will take you. When she was alone with Aunt Sushila, Smita cried out in a choked voice, no, how can I? We've always done things together, Anand and I. A walk in the park might make you feel better, said Aunt Sushila, and Smita was grateful for her suggestion. In the park, people were walking, running, playing ball, doing yogic exercises, feeding the ducks, and eating roasted gram and peanuts. Smita felt alone in their midst. She was lost in her thoughts. Anand was very ill, and he did not have many more days to live. And so the doctors had suggested that the parents should not spend much time or much money also in bringing Anand to the hospital and trying to get him treated unnecessarily. So rather, they would try to spend more time with him, give him whatever he wanted. And so the family took the advice of the doctor, and they tried to keep Anand happy. They tried to give him everything that he wanted, everything that he asked for. And they never showed in front of him that they were sad. They never cried in front of him. They always hide their emotions, and in front of him they tried to keep the situation as normal as they could. They laughed with him, enjoyed as much as they could, so that whatever time was left with him, whatever days were left with him, those many days he would at least enjoy his life, or experience the life in its fullest. But now he was asking for something which was not really practical, because he was bedridden. He was always he always needed oxygen cylinder for breathing, because his breathing would get choked, okay, if he was getting panicked, or if he would think more, then he would his breath would get choked. And so it was not easy to take him to the concert. So the family was now in a trouble, thinking that though this is something that we cannot provide him with, or this is something, one wish that we cannot fulfill. But the boy is also saying that this is probably the last chance that he is having to attend the concert, and so he's saying chance of lifetime. And this is something that saddens the family, the mother, and especially Smita, who brought up this topic. And so she sits at the corner, okay, looking out of the window. And though she's looking at the traffic outside, there is a lot of noise within her also. Okay, she's feeling very sad that her younger brother is not able to do what he really wants to do, and she's very sad about that. And she shares this with her aunt. Okay, and her mother tells that if she wants to go to the concert, she may go with her father. She can definitely go, but Smita is a very understanding child, and she knows that if her younger brother, who is sick and because of his illness is not going to the concert, then how can she go and enjoy? She won't be able to do that. But Aunt Sushila advises her to go and spend some time in the park so that she may feels the fresh air in the park would make her feel easy. She goes in the park, and you all know what kind of atmosphere it is in the park. People play, people dance, people enjoy. Okay, there are some people feeding ducks also, it is said. Some people are eating. But amidst all the crowd and all the noise there, Smita is silent. She is lost in her thoughts. And what is she thinking about? What are her thoughts? That we will get to know in the next passage. We shall do the second half of the lesson in the next module. Now let us have evaluation. First question, answer the following. Question number 1. Why was Smita excited? Smita was excited because Pandit Ravi Shankar was going to play at the auditorium next day, and that is the reason why she and also her brother was excited. Second question, why was everyone from the family trying to keep Anand happy? Okay, this you will find in the second passage that we took up, that the doctors had said that Anand did not have many days to live, and so the family tried to spend more time with him and tried to keep him happy, tried to give him whatever he asked for, so that he would have some happy time before he would die. Third one, why was Smita not ready to go for the concert? This is there in the third passage. Smita was allowed to go to the concert. The mother had also given her permission, but she did not want to go because her brother was not able to attend the concert because of his sickness. And she thought that everything that they had done so far, they did it together. And how would she go to the concert alone? Now, this answer you cannot write so big, okay? You'll have to be precise. And I'm just explaining you the answers and where you'll get the answer. You need to just write it in one sentence. Fourth one, why did Smita become nervous? Smita became nervous because she was not able to find a solution to whether she should go to the concert or no, and she was lost in her thoughts in the park also, okay, because she was just thinking about what to do. Question number 2, give one word for the following. First, quietly spoken words. The answer is murmur. Second one, to allow to enjoy the pleasure of something. And the answer is to indulge. Okay, when we indulge into something, we allow to enjoy the pleasure of something. Question number 3, who said to whom? A. This is not the last time they are going to play. This sentence is said by the mother to Anand. B. A walk in the park might make you feel better. This sentence is said by Aunt Sushila to Smita. Question number 4. Choose the appropriate adverb or adjective form to fill in the gaps. First, she spoke in an dash tone. Answer is excited. Second, Smita accepted the suggestion dash. Answer is gratefully. Third, they gave him whatever made him dash. The answer is happy. Fourth, he ran very dash. The answer is fast. Fifth, he would become a dash sitarist someday. The answer is great. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.